Okay, so whenever you're ready to start, we can start.
You want to just go? I don't have a phone. I got nothing to talk about because I don't have a phone on me. So I guess we can talk about stuff. Fuck it, just start.
Okay.
Seriously? You're gonna join the fucking Generation Y or whatever they are with I can't communicate because I don't have my phone?
Or I just don't. It's more I can't remember everything I've read in the past week, so I don't have everything on hand. I don't make notes. So fuck you.
Welcome to the show, Hank.
Hey, Hank.
Howdy, Hank. Do you know who Bernie Sanders is?
Yeah, some old dude playing on everybody's strings.
Yeah, I hear he's pretty much a communist. Well, at least socialist, one or the other.
Obama's a communist. This guy's a socialist.
Whatever, Brad.
I listened to an interview with him. I think it was some news morning talk show, political talk show person. I don't remember who it was.
Wow.
But everything the guy says, I completely agree with. You know, he was talking about if you take a look at Scandinavia and a large portion of Europe, Britain especially, Britain and Scandinavia especially, if you take a look at those two, the other two leading areas of the West, they have socialized healthcare, they have socialized education, so you can go to university for free, graduate school at least, or undergraduate school. Is it undergraduate or is it graduate school?
The undergraduate.
One of them's PhD. One of them's for free. You know, they are leaps and bounds ahead of us in solar and renewable energies, and as far as taking care of their infrastructure. So to model the future based on those highly successful countries, like why does that seem to be impossible? Because, you know, people they run in fear of the word socialism, and it's not something that we necessarily need to be afraid of. Full on, like, socialism is something to run in fear. But socialist democracy, like, that's exactly what we fucking need.
Well, I agree with some of that, but my problems are both Scandinavia and England do not have 300 million people in their country.
That's true.
That's all of pretty much Europe itself is about 300 million people.
Fact.
Their immigration system is a lot more stringent than in this country.
Opinion.
Opinion. Thank you, Craig. Standing there. And their taxes are usually somewhere in the realm of 80%.
Wild guess.
No, I just read an article on that.
They're not 80%. They're way up there, but it's not. Listen, I'm not saying that there's no hole.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying it's just when guys talk about that, they always seem to leave minor things.
The idea is we already pay, and he's another one that wants to smash the Fed after investigating and arresting where need to be. He's another one who wants to destroy the Fed. Like,
I have no problem.
The federal banking system broken up and done away with.
Well, what'll happen to my money that's in the bank?
Your money remains the same. It would just be backed by something other than a promise.
Oh.
More paper.
Which would be going back to, like...
Backed by ice cream? That's a losing battle there, pal.
Especially when you're in town.
Yeah. especially during the
You might
summer. I'm not going to pay the fees to refrigerate that ice cream. Why don't you back it with... I got an idea. Back it with gold.
Well, we'll never go back to
Is this any
gold standard.
standard anymore? I thought everyone's usually on silver standard. Nowadays.
Okay,
Yeah,
back it
all
with
the-
fucking tungsten. I don't care.
We wouldn't go back
Emerald.
to gold standard. We would go to silver standard or some other precious metal,
Platinum.
which
Adamantium.
I don't really
Adamantium.
understand the precious metals
Unobtainium.
standard itself, way, to be perfectly honest with you.
Aluminium.
Aluminum.
I saw
Can
this,
it be
I thought you said adamantium.
the dentist
I
said
did.
that. I said unobtainium.
Unobtainium. What is that from? Why do I recognize that?
That's a generic term for a material that's not a realistic thing like adamantium or like any kind of metal you see in like comic books or science fiction and stuff like that. That it just isn't there. It's generalized as unobtainium because you can't actually create that.
Yeah, right. Like thorium.
Yeah.
Complete bullshit.
No, thorium's real.
Yeah, they
Wrong with
they
that,
found thorium.
Yeah, no, thorium's a real element. It's as radioactive as plutonium, but not as what do you call it? Where like you could keep a pellet of thorium in your pocket and it won't give you any problems. But if you
Right.
soak it in a salt bath, a molten salt bath, it's as radioactive and gives off as much energy as plutonium. And
Yeah,
uranium.
I wish they could kind of work with that. That would be kind of nice. I've seen their ideas for reactors for that.
Yeah.
It's like no bigger than my house.
Yeah.
Then I could like pretty much take my whole town and the outskirts and run it for like years.
Yep. Well, the problem,
The only problem
it's the salt bath. When you bring salt to a boil, it pretty much
Yeah.
eats through anything around it.
Yeah, that's the okay. So there's a minor
Yeah.
problem, just a minor one.
That's
we
where you
figured
get
it out. We'll be
unobtainium to put the salt in. In a big
exactly
jar.
titanium. See, so I mean, it's like that whole thing with Elon Musk. Did you see that? There was an article today. 5 things Elon Musk needs to work on. It was pretty fucking funny. Just like housing, yard work, stuff like that. So,
I saw an article. Speaking of like the aluminum and aluminium and all that bullshit. Okay, so it was the other day. It was like a thread on Reddit, and it was there was like an article in a newspaper over in England that said, why don't we just, if we keep bitching about leaving the EU, why don't we just do it, join the US and become the 51st state? Just they'd have to give up Independence Day. So I start reading the comment section, like the whole thread, and it's going great. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we wouldn't have to do that. You'd be this, blah, blah. Everybody's talking about ways it could work out. Then one person replies with, they just have to concede to the fact that it's pronounced aluminum, not aluminium. Everything broke down. The fucking U.S. doesn't want anything to do with the English. Fuck them. It's like, wow, over one word.
yeah. Well, and Herb
Yeah.
too.
Well, there's an
H
H in that one. I agree with that.
I will agree with that one, yes, because there is an H in it. We should say Herb.
I don't know. I thought that was funny.
I don't know. I'll never say herb. It's herb.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's
I
herb.
pronounce H's when I see them.
So it's Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. Is that how that works?
Yes.
Never say Herb Alpert. All right. That's a
Is it
fact.
Irby goes to Monte
Irby.
Carlo?
Yes.
Irby goes bananas?
Yes. All of it. Happy Meals.
Happy Meal. That just sounds cocky. Happy Meals.
Yeah.
Happy Meal.
Surprisingly, as you say Happy Meal and stuff like that, you do realize a lot of those Cockney fuckers don't really pronounce the H in most of the words.
Yeah, so.
like listen to The Business, and then there's the song Hurry Up Harry, and there's not an H in that fucking song.
It is true. It's all hurry up, Harry.
Yeah. But what if they went to the herb shop?
So I'm not a herbalist. I'm an herbalist.
Yeah.
Fuck your herbs.
That's one of the things I'm gonna try to grow. We're gonna
Some
try to plant
herbal tea?
an herb garden.
Yeah, I saw your post on that. Best of luck there, buddy. One thing,
Yeah.
Travis, one thing I know about you, patience. Something you do not have.
I'll plant the
It's not
seeds
growing
the very
fast
next day.
enough.
I'll
Why
be
isn't it
standing
growing
in the front
fast
yard
enough?
Screaming,
Fuck.
why aren't you growing yet? Why aren't you growing yet?
I don't get it. All my plants have wilted. It's I talk to him every day. You piece of shit.
No, I think I'll be successful. I hope I'll be successful. We're gonna do the herb garden inside though. We're gonna do that in the windowsill.
Oh, you should get one of those arrow gardens.
What's that?
It's a little box that has like a grow light built into it. You put your plants in and then it'll grow them. My wife got one for Christmas 2 years ago and hasn't set it up yet because we can't find any place where the cats won't eat it or the light isn't so bright it'll keep you awake at night. Because it's got a really bright light when you turn it on. It's like having a like 3 or 4 like halogen lamps on.
Jesus Christ.
But
What about there in the office?
the cats will get to it anywhere in here. Somehow everything in here,
That's true.
there's ways for the cats to get to it. I mean, we've been lucky we got some plants in the window that they've been yelled at repeatedly, but when there's stuff that'll smell good, they will be all over it.
Yeah. You could always just grow catnip.
We have a catnip
Like-
thing that we're thinking about starting, but don't know
Like
yet.
grow catnip on the outsides of it, so they'll like chew on that and then just get really stoned and just go lay down.
Yeah.
Great. Nice. Your kid's attic. That's really nice. There you go. Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry. Why is the cat rubbing his inner arm so much? It's just sitting there.
The cat's got track lines. What the fuck? You got to be careful picking up cat's like fur because there's needles in it and shit. Just like a junky den of cats that hang out in the house.
And in here, what's going on? Who got the pipe?
Mike Fenner's goes fucking ape shit when he gets catnip. Like he doesn't calm down. He goes nuts.
Yeah.
And speaking of my cat,
Yeah, I've heard he's not a big fan of your dog.
he fucking hates the dog. And Ryla is not fucking around anymore. Like the first time she kept her tail wagging, she like got down like she was ready to play. But now like her tail will go, she'll be wagging her tail when she first sees him, and then he'll charge her and her tail will just go like fucking straight. And then she charges back. And it's
Right.
like, yeah, that's great. That's all I need is for this fucking dog to kill my cat. Because he doesn't have claws.
Right.
So, like, it's a fucking mess. It's a mess.
Wonderful world of tons of animals.
Yeah.
I wanted chickens. I told Gabrielle, I asked Gabrielle 2 days after we got the dog if we could get chickens.
And she said no.
And she absolutely said no.
I've been told I'm not allowed to get chickens either.
Yeah.
I've had one I wanted to. It was pretty cool.
Goats? Goats. Goats.
Goats?
Alpacas. Just really, go on the outskirts first, and then bring it back in. Chickens, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want? I want a cow.
I would probably get told okay.
Sheep.
Gabrielle also told me that I couldn't get chickens. Like, she didn't want to raise chickens because then we would have to go full vegetarian because she wouldn't be able to eat or prepare chickens if she was taking care of chickens. I was like, well, you could go vegetarian. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like, it absolutely does not bother me to fucking raise a chicken and eat its cousin. Like,
Or eat
that. Yeah.
You can just tell your wife it died of natural causes. It's okay.
Well,
There's
Its
a-
head popped off.
That is pretty natural. I mean, when your head goes and pretty much you die, I mean, that's naturally what happens.
The whole reason I wanted chickens or even thought about chickens is for eggs, fresh eggs, every day.
Yeah. Then you gotta have a
And,
rooster, though.
Huh?
Then you gotta have a rooster when the sun comes up. So do they.
No. No rooster. That fucking thing would die first day. I'd kill it.
Walk right outside with an axe. Ah, no. What happened? Bear got it. I don't know what to tell you, Adam.
How come all the
But
meat's
yeah.
still here?
I wanted eggs, fresh eggs every day. I'm trying to figure out ways to be more self-sufficient and self-reliant. So if I grow my own vegetables, that's one way. If I raise chickens and harvest my own eggs, that's another way. I'm considering getting a hunting license and going and killing a deer a year.
So, Craig, do you just see about 5 years down the line, Travis is in a compound? Is that what I'm seeing this?
5 years?
Yeah, I'm giving him 5.
That's pretty generous, buddy. I say by next month he's no longer on the podcast because he's afraid to use the internet.
You know, it wasn't fear that was ready for me to making me ready to cut my internet. It's I don't get it, because now I'm seeing it even in places that I never saw it before. Like this whole feminist or like straight, the whole like gender thing is fucking making me absolutely want to shoot every fucking computer that I see, because it is like it's getting. I don't know if it's just me that's noticing it, or if I'm just now noticing it like everybody else does and just haven't got to the point of being able to ignore it yet.
I think that's probably part of it.
It's everywhere.
Oh, I finally given up after the last article I read on Thursday from a woman who said when yes means no. I went, that's it. I'm done. Because I had no clue how to even respond to that article.
Well, I read that part about
nonsense.
Go ahead, Craig. There's that whole thing about the fucking SJWs drove Joss Whedon off of Twitter because he didn't have enough fucking LGBT shit in fucking Avengers 2.
Yeah, well, that's not true. Like I read an interview with him shortly after they declared victory over Joss Whedon. He was like, "That's horseshit. I just got really tired of Twitter. It's fucking tedious."
Yeah,
and which it is. Which I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I haven't really used Twitter at all in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, you found Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
Facebook, you can put entire thoughts into the fucking lines. You're not dependent on 146 characters.
Yeah, yes, you and Stevie seem to have very great conversations.
I'll tell you, it has been a tremendous amount of fun getting to talk to Stevie again, because it's just it's Stevie. And
so Travis, I must say, welcome to 2010.
I know. I'm a little late to fucking join the party, but
yeah, I do understand, Travis, because every time I turn on something somewhere, someone's offended or upset about something someone did. It's like I don't know what to tell you. Here we go here I go. This is going to get us all in trouble. But grow up here, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, just fucking deal with it. Life's shit.
You're not going to
make you happy.
Grow a pair of ovaries, toots.
Whatever. You care of something. Fucking or grow up. How does that sound? Life's a bitch. People aren't always going to agree with you. Shit happens, and fucking too bad. I don't know what else to tell you.
We've seen it here on the show. Like, there have been guests who, and like we're all for, you know, whatever the guest asks, that's what we try to provide. So if a guest asks for us to cut out portions of a show, or guests ask us not to go down specific paths, we do that. And we've had guests that have asked for portions of the show, whether it be for political reasons, or they think maybe they said something that whoever they're talking for or talking about wouldn't approve of, and they say, hey, can Can you kind of cut that down, cut that out, make it not seem quite so stark? And we're all about that. We're fine with that. We've never questioned anybody's motives. But then we've also had guests like Anthony Neil Smith who just didn't give a shit. Like, he was on the show talking about his work and was being himself. Like, it didn't matter the fucking episode that he was on with Red Hammond. That was probably the one show that I thought would get us the most backlash. But
nobody even listens. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, 5 people all mad.
Yeah, I thought if people were actually listening, like, that show would be the one that got us the most backlash.
I always look at it as bad publicity is publicity regardless, dude. I mean,
Especially
whatever.
at the rate we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
I did get a compliment on last week's show. All credit to Dennis.
Really?
Yeah, we got a compliment. Someone said that they really liked the interview. They thought it was really good for beginner hikers. And it was a nice section up at the beginning about the Bigfoot show that we talked about. But I give all credit to you on last week's show because I was fucked up.
Yeah, you were drugged to the gills. You were. You're like, how you doing? You're like, ugh. That's. I was like, because I was fascinated by last week's guest. The idea of like I said, hiking, all that crazy shit. I had friends that wanted to do it. I was a beautiful urbanite. There's no way I could ever just decide to take 3 months out of my life and go try to like survive in the woods. I'd be dead after the first 2 weeks. I know that already. That's why I'd never. Like, hey, let's go. No, I'm cool, man. It's all right.
Yeah,
but it was nice to find stuff out, dude. You know.
When I did the editing last week, I usually don't. I usually know what happened during the show, so I'm able to edit it together pretty quickly, and just throw beginning on, throw an end on, cut out what I know needs to be cut out, and good to go. Last week I had to watch the full episode because I don't remember what happened through most of it, and then I counted how many times I would blink a second. And,
your teeth, even before we started, you said your face was fucking killing you. I mean, you were just out, fucking destroyed.
It was a good time.
I was pre-show. I was telling him that when I couldn't make it last week because shit got fucked up on my end, but when I sat down to watch the episode and Craig went to do the intro, like, you could tell he had something in his mind that he wanted to say. Like, you could tell as you're watching the video, he had something prepared, or an outline at least. And then when he started, it was like it all just kind of went away.
Yeah.
He was like, he looked really lost for a minute. He was like, yeah. And then when he told me he was on fucking painkillers, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I'm about halfway through last week's episode. I haven't got to finish it, but I enjoyed it. I'm really bummed that I had to miss it.
You know what else really happened to me when I was in that state? Like, as I spaced out, you know what caused me to really space out? I became very aware of myself, and I didn't know what to do, and I kept watching myself in the camera, which is why I don't have the camera up where I can see myself right now. Because I became incredibly aware of myself. You know the old joke of I don't know what to do with my hands? That's kind of how I felt. Like, where am I supposed to be looking? Am I doing this? And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah,
I kind of face that dilemma every episode because you can't like look directly in the camera.
I do
because then, well, you do because you don't have the view up. But I'm looking at whoever's talking on my screen.
Yeah.
So when I go back to and I'm watching it, I'm looking at I'm. It's hard to reproduce here on the screen, but it's like it bothers me because I'm looking down and I'm looking over, and then you and I, Craig, we both kind of share we need to move around a lot.
Yeah.
So when I'm rewatching and then I see myself doing this, it's like, what the fuck? Sit still, you fucking freak.
I actually have the Skype windows real tiny, like right below the camera. So as I'm looking at you two up there, it looks like I'm looking more or less into the camera. I figured that out this week. So hopefully it looks better, but I can't tell.
It is disconcerting. That's why I was, like, if you ever watch like podcasts or stuff on, like, when they have guests in the background, you can always see the guest kind of looking this way or looking like this. It's the like you said, being self-aware, because then you're just like looking at you, then I'm looking over here, looking down there. It just looks stupid.
Yeah.
You just can't help you. So you got nothing else you can do about it. But it's just not like the camera can track your head.
And
so you're just like,
the mind state from those painkillers was just like, look at yourself. You're an idiot. What are you doing? And that's all I could think the whole time. And I'm like, okay, so I'll try and look normal. Trying to look normal. And apparently I'm staring at myself blinking. So yeah, it was a bad night.
Look normal. Look normal.
Yeah. That is very interesting. That is very interesting what you just said.
Yeah, I'm glad we went to a video cast as well, because now people can enjoy what used to be just us doing utter nonsense.
Yeah,
where nobody could fucking see it, no explanation and no context.
Well, the thing is, remember the one last week or 2 weeks ago when we were just looking at pictures of T-shirts for like a half hour?
Right.
No one watched that video.
Yeah.
There are no views on YouTube on that one. It has 0.
That's just it. So, osmosis? How the fuck do they know what's going on? It is what it is.
Well, they heard you guys describing the T-shirts, so I guess they were like, that's good enough.
I'm actually kind of surprised our YouTube hasn't kind of taken off.
I think it's the lengthy bits where it's like, 2 hours, hour,
Yeah.
YouTube's more for like that 5 minutes in and out. And I mean, I'm not going to stop putting them up there, because if people do want to see what we look like, or let's say someone comes on who's a guest they want to know about, they can.
Well, I've watched a couple podcasts on YouTube that are like an hour long.
Yeah. Well, that's how I usually watch them too, but then again, a lot of the times ours might be one of those ones they just throw on in the background in their car and just it's white noise for the drive to work. So,
well, I'll take it. Yeah. Whatever.
For those 16 people that listen. Hank, how do you listen? I know it's not on YouTube because I didn't see any Florida hits. Let us know, Hank. Send us a comment. Hit click and subscribe at the bottom of the screen. Isn't that what they do? You go, just go down here and click subscribe, and then we can get more views. I won't add ads until you people start subscribing. Then you can see fucking ads.
Is that how the ads work? You have to subscribe first.
No, it just depends on views. But I mean, I didn't think it was worth our time to add the little 5-minute or the little 30-second ad that most people are going to be like, "Yep, not watching this," because 20 people, maybe 10 people on average hit our video each week. I'm not going to force them away by them having to watch the fucking Geico ad that they've seen for 500 fucking times if any YouTube video they've watched at this point, The
same one over and over again, too.
Yeah. The one time I was looking up some video, and this was right before Godzilla came out, and it was the teaser trailer for Godzilla came up as the ad for beforehand, and I turned it off when it was over, and I'm going, fuck, I didn't watch the video I was going to watch. I just watched the ad because it was something I wanted to see. I was amazed at that. That was the one time that happened.
See, now
there
have been
very, very few ads that I want to sit through.
Yeah.
I really wish YouTube would give me the option to skip the fucking Red Lobster advertisement. I don't fucking eat seafood. It doesn't matter how many more fucking times you fucking show it to me. I'm not going to fucking Red Lobster, YouTube. Go fuck yourself.
I do like the Kevin Bacon one that's been on recently on Hulu. There's one where it's this lady's cooking some eggs in the morning, and she says, well, there's nothing better than eggs and then all of a sudden he just goes, and bacon, and he's like laying across her counter. And I'm like, man, this is pretty funny.
Oh, speaking of Craig, did you see that Kevin
He's gonna be
Bacon
at
and the
Fair
Bacon
Oaks
Brothers
Farm?
band
Yes.
are playing down at Fair Oaks?
Yes.
I saw that. I'm like, I might have to go to that just to go.
It's for their
What?
new exhibit. Their new the new pig exhibit is going to be completely open.
Yeah, just the fact that Kevin Bacon will be there. I said I want to go just so I can see Kevin Bacon. Now I'm part of that like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Like I was right there, Kevin Bacon. I had that whole thing set up.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of going to stuff, last night me and the wife went to see Megan Mullany and Nick Offerman do their show.
How
That was fucking funny. My wife didn't think so as much because it was very crass. But it was all about sex and stuff.
Really fucking Nick Offerman's crass.
Yeah.
The fuck is he funny?
But his wife's just as funny. His wife's are you familiar with Megan Mullany?
Yeah, she was the drunk lady on Will and Grace.
Yes. That's his wife. So those two together, that was a very funny show. Like they broke up in the middle of it, and then she had a new boyfriend come up on stage. Nick Offerman performed a marriage ceremony on stage, which I don't know if it was set up beforehand or not, but he called 2 people up and then married them on stage, and he says, just so you know, that was all legal because I am an internet minister.
Nick Offerman is one of those people where I really didn't think I was going to like his comedy.
Yeah.
And he is the only thing that made Parks and Recreation enjoyable for me.
See, I also like Chris
care.
Pratt. I like Chris Pratt's character on Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
And then Aubrey Plaza's character as well.
But then again, see, I felt like the whole show revolved around Nick Offerman.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like without him, that show would have, even with Chris Pratt and everyone else who are all very accomplished and very funny actors and actresses. Without Nick Offerman, that show would have fucking flopped.
Yeah. Yeah, especially at the beginning because like a lot of those characters weren't really developed. Like Aziz Ansari, he was funny in his own right, but like it took a little while for his character to develop, and then by the end, they were all like cartoons of themselves. But like Nick Offerman was the same character beginning to end. I always liked that.
Yeah, he's the only one who didn't become a parody of whatever comedic figure they were playing.
Yeah. But then again, because he kind of started out as the
parody.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I liked was that the American Ham on Netflix. That's pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah.
But he's in his wood shop. Guy gives him shit where I can't curse in my own wood shop. What's going on?
the lawyer guy. And then he kept talking over his shoulder about how you can find the clips on YouTube that were banned from the Netflix episode.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he walked out on stage shirtless.
Yeah.
It was just like, here you go. You know who he kind of reminds me of? The way his delivery and his cadence reminds me of Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I
that like very deadpan, but then he'll laugh at his own jokes.
Yeah. I think that's what cracks me up the most. Is he'll tell a terrible joke, and then he'll just start laughing at it because he knows it's terrible. It's like you can't help but laugh. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, there was a bit they did in their show last night where you can tell they haven't practiced this song, and they played it in the completely wrong key because she was playing ukulele and he was playing guitar, and it was great because he actually knew the song, but she was the one who didn't remember it, and she's like, sing a little bit to me, and they're like off mic and trying to like get the song right, and he just kept giggling through the whole thing.
He posted something on Facebook. Was it Facebook or Twitter? It might have been Twitter. But the guy is fucking like you have to admire the relationship that he has with his wife.
Yeah.
Because they're absolutely in love.
Oh yeah.
Like,
And I mean that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
that's what that tour that they're doing right now. It's called the Summer of '69, no apostrophe. It's about. It's just about their relationship. They like tell you about how they lost their virginity. They tell you about how they met. They tell you about like their honeymoon and all kinds of stuff. But it's all like joking around too the whole time. It's really good.
I wonder if it's coming my way at all.
I think it should. I think it
That'd
just
be
kicked
something
off
I'd like.
because I'm not sure, but I think it's like I think it ran last year and then they came back through this year to hit the places they didn't go. But I know they're like supposedly in Milwaukee tonight because he made some joke about something and it was like real like very like big city oriented and he goes, yeah, that one's gonna kill in Milwaukee tomorrow night, and then he started giggling again.
I'll have to see. Not that Gabrielle and I could go because, well, we'd probably take the baby. We'd be those people.
Yeah.
Gonna say anything, but you those people.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, he's not
I
old
don't-
enough to understand the language yet, maybe, because it's pretty crass.
There's that. It's more like it's like 11, 12 o'clock at night. And this little bastard starts screaming, and you're like, oh, really?
Well, there's that, yeah.
Even if he was old enough to understand the language, I mean, come on.
That's
I'm
I
his dad.
Yeah.
you know, I
Still.
had that discussion with people about. Well, I don't want her like they're watching his show. Something. Well, I don't want her to what happens if she understands what they're talking about. I'm like, well, then why the fuck are you hiding it from her? She already knows what they're going to talk
Yeah.
about. If they get the joke, it's already too late.
Yeah.
Tell them. You know what I mean?
But if they don't get the joke and
then
then they hear about, like, anal penetration, you don't really want your
And then they go
3-year-old
to-
asking those
They
questions.
or they go to school and they tell their teacher about anal penetration.
Yeah. Or Jesus wrecking my
Uh.
beehole. That was a joke in there.
Like, I'm very well prepared. Well, I will be very well prepared for the day that I get called to Thor in school because he said something incredibly inappropriate to his teacher. Whether it's fuck you or you're a cunt or I hope you die or like any number of the many surly things that he's heard me say to his mother in jest.
I think
I will have you know.
this is my guess here, Dennis, on where Travis's kid goes in life. The way Travis is, the way he's raising Thorin, I can see Thorin being like Rick Mail on the Young Ones. Like an extreme anarchist, but has a good upbringing.
yeah.
Kind of has it too good to be
Yeah.
an actual anarchist.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
That's why when he
It-
turns maybe 16, you get him the haircut with the braids in the back.
Well,
I
Discussed
can see it going one of several ways. He's either going to be normal with a mixture of mine and Gabrielle's personalities, which are both we both have our quirks, to put it nicely. So he's either just gonna be like, like us now, minus tattoos, but normal looking. His appearance will be outwardly acceptable, with strange quirks, or he'll be like Rick Mayo's character in The Young Ones, just completely out there and
Yeah.
just fucking wild.
He'll be the people's poet.
Or he will be an absolute fucking stick in the mud. He's gonna go to church. He's gonna play on the football team. He's gonna be a fucking Democrat. So
He's gonna play football in the house and knock over your like Battlestar Galactica shit, and you'll be like, "What the fuck?" He'll be like,
no, all
"Screw
that
you,
shit's
Dad."
downstairs. And it's not Battlestar Galactica. I actually have nothing Battlestar Galactica.
Okay,
yeah.
that's
Your
the first
Star
thing that
Wars
came
shit,
to
man.
mind.
Yeah, it's all Star Wars and Doctor Who.
He'll knock over your Hobbit statues.
I only have one statue, and it's from Lord of the Rings.
That light up Saruman.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Travis,
I have the mountain troll.
Well, you missed it on at C2E2. Craig saw this. My daughter actually shot me down because I wanted to buy something. She actually stopped me. Craig could not stop laughing at me.
What? You're gonna have to tell me now.
Okay, well, we were walking past a booth that had trading knives. And knives, and I just stopped and I started going, ooh, ooh, and my daughter stops and goes, no, you're not buying another knife. You do not need another knife. You just let it be. And I'm like, but really, I mean, I don't have this one. Doesn't matter. You have them all over the house. You don't need any more. Leave them alone. I'm like, okay, fine. And
See, you're not explaining it right. Travis, you got to understand. We were there, and it sounded like, you know how when you go to a toy store, and there's an adult talking to their 5-year-old about how they don't need another Star Wars or a Ninja Turtle or whatever, because they've already got 6 of them just like that. And the child's like, "Oh, come on!" But it's special because it has this special item in it. That's exactly what happened, except it was his daughter talking to her father this way. It was amazing.
Well, no, see, I wish, Craig, you had thought about it and pulled out your phone and
I was
recorded
laughing
it,
too hard, man.
because that would have been a great segment on the show. Dennis getting scolded by his, is she 17 now?
Yeah,
17-year-old daughter. Dennis, who is 40, or knocking on 40.
No, I'm 40.
Getting scolded by his 17-year-old daughter. You don't
the
need
one,
that.
And then think about this, right? She walks in there, she sees something she really likes, and she goes, I set myself a budget. I'm not going to go over that. So I guess I won't be getting this time. And I'm just like, wow, that's an amazingly adult attitude. Dennis goes, a wrestling mask? No problem, I'm buying one. and you can't say anything about me because I bought one too, but the thing is, I'm an adult and I don't have a child. I didn't have a child setting a good example for me.
But you missed the first part of that, was because I took my daughter and I brought both daughters with me. So, and the youngest has never been to a convention. My daughter even said to my youngest, okay, be careful because he will just wander off. And the first thing I did was I just said, ooh, look. And she's, because it was those Gundams, she just, see what I mean? Right there. Yeah. She just grabbed.
Dude, you did that before we even got into the actual convention. As soon as we left badging, Travis, we're walking. Dennis is kind of in front of everybody. I'm talking to Dominica about something, and Grace is like right in the middle, and we're making sure we keep an eye on her. Dennis sees someone dressed as something out of one of the what's that guy's the writer guy?
Jim Butcher.
Yeah, he sees someone out of a Jim Butcher novel. Someone dressed like that. He beeline for the guy. He was halfway up the escalator, and we're like, "What the hell happened?"
I've already said you can't leave me alone. This is what happened.
No, exactly.
Well, see, I remember last year. In fact, I think all 3 of us got separated because I was going to buy something, and Dennis was going to the next aisle over to go buy something. And Craig, I think you went to the bathroom.
Probably.
So we agreed to, like, we're going to meet back up, like, in this area. Right over here. And I get finished buying my thing. I go stand there. I'm standing there. I'm calling Dennis now. No answer. So I'm calling you. No answer, because we're in a fucking convention. You can't hear your fucking phone. You can't feel your fucking phone. And I probably stood there for fucking 15, 20 minutes.
You know what? I think that was when I just got there. Because I was meeting up with you guys, and you were back by the food court, like way in the back. And that's where I met up with you.
Super early.
Yeah, and you guys had already split up and done a lot of the shopping already at that point.
Yeah. And so it is. Yeah, I'm waiting for you and Dennis. I'm waiting for you to get back, and I'm trying to figure out where the fuck Dennis went. We didn't find Dennis for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was like, "What? I saw something over here." And after that, I saw something over there.
I saw Bruce Leroy over at a booth, so I had to go over there. We still should have got his autograph. God damn it!
I know. Oh, you should have seen it when we went to go for the. So we went to the other space panel. All right, they already screwed them horribly because they got what? Like they were supposed to be there for like half an hour, got like 10 minutes, and that was it.
Yeah.
So Craig and I look at our phones and go, okay, we've got to get down to the other side of the convention. We're upstairs in another corner. We got to go down and across the whole convention to get in line. So the doors open. I grab Grace. Dominica's texting me, going, "Where are you?" I said, "Meet me right here. We're going to be right in this area." I grab Grace and we just book. I mean, Craig and I are going. We get into this line. Craig's like, "Fuck this," and just makes a right and a left, and he's just juking through people. And I'm trying to keep up with them. I got Grace, and I'm literally shifting her like this. We're walking, picking her up and moving her around because she's tiny. We get there, and we're still it's already. We were like, motherfucker, man, these guys. I'm like, this is where Travis would have been handy. Travis, wait in line. We'll meet you over here.
Yeah.
We'll just catch up to you. Then I couldn't find my daughter. She's off somewhere else. And
yeah, it was a fun convention.
I'm still kind of bummed that I didn't get out this year.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Besides Sylvester McCoy, I don't know if there would have been too much you would have liked. I mean, Sergeant Slaughter was there.
Yeah.
We saw him, but didn't
I would have just said, all I would have wanted to say to him was, "Fuck you.
You're not
you
big boss, man."
Walked past me when I was fucking 5 years old, you fucking old piece of shit. And go fuck yourself. I know I'm not buying a fucking autograph from you. I asked you for your autograph fucking 25 years ago, you fucking sack of shit, and you fucking just walked past me because you were too good. So fuck yourself. Your autograph is worthless.
That, and then we saw Lady Sign there, dressed as
Catwoman.
Catwoman, yeah.
She did Catwoman again?
Yeah, she did a more yeah, I don't know, maybe it is different, I don't know. Last time we saw her, she was Black Cat from Spider-Man. This one, it seemed like she was the like Arkham City stuff. She was that Catwoman with the goggles and all that. And then she gave me her card so I can set up an interview with her again because she wanted to know why we haven't had her back on the show, and we blamed you.
Blamed me?
Yeah.
I'm not the one who set her up the first time.
Who was that?
It would have been you then, Dennis. So it was your fault, fucker.
I didn't take the blame. Fuck it, I don't care.
I noticed you didn't take the blame. You pawned it on me first. You claimed I'm the one who sets up all the interviews. I said, well, it wasn't me, so it must have been Travis.
No, I do remember sending her something to say, "Hey, we'd like to have you back on." But she was in the middle of moving,
right,
and getting shit done, so she couldn't do it right then.
Yeah, so we'll set her up for maybe not next week, but the following week. I'll hit her up with an email.
Well, yeah, and as Craig was saying, the only other good thing I liked was meeting the guys from Other Space because they were really super nice.
Yeah.
I mean, real personable, real sweet guys. All of them. They were all. It was free, which was a shocker.
Yeah.
And I got a picture with every one of them, which was cool. Of course, no one noticed because everyone talked about my fucking mustache.
Well, that's because you look like Mario.
Yeah, whatever. But
aren't most panels free?
Well, no, the panel is free, and then we went downstairs to get autographs. And, like, I brought my MST 3K 25-year anniversary box set, and they signed that, and they gave us a poster of Other Space and autographed that with no money exchanging hands.
Oh, and they were all cool about getting their picture taken and everything. I mean, I think Joel Hodgson was like, "You want to get a picture?" I said, "Yeah, it was great."
Yeah.
So really cool.
Yep. It was cool because they only had like an hour to do it all in, and they we got in the line. We were halfway through the line, but man, it was a good time.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it. I actually, Travis, you've been impressed. I actually geeked out. I was super excited to meet these guys because I mean, this was like literally, like this is. I remember every Saturday getting up to watch this. This was like the thing I did forever. So to actually meet some of the guys was awesome.
I've seen you geek out every time we've gone to C2E2 about something.
And then when we were waiting for Sylvester McCoy to come back to autograph, we got to see Sammy Ganja right next to us.
Yeah.
Who's Sammy Ganja?
Rudy.
The Goonies kid.
You know, Rudy, he was from the Goonies. He was an Encino Man. Sammy Ganja. He hung out with Frodo's.
And rang Dirtfoot.
I told Dennis, wouldn't it be funny to wait in line and then just take a swing at him and walk away?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Just walk up to him dressed as a pirate. So you're like One-Eyed Willie from the Goonies and just take a swing at the fucker and then leave?
I think that we did that for about 20 minutes, came up with great ideas just to fuck with them. Where's my pirate shit?
You took my gold, you fucker! Wah! Like take a swing, completely miss, and then run before security grabs you.
What the fuck is that guy's name?
Sammy Ganja.
Sammy Ganja. Samwise Ganji is what I meant.
What the fuck's his name? Hold on.
Well, that's his name in Lord of the Rings.
And then he was something in Encino Man, and then
Rudy, and then fuck, what is his name?
like I knew it 2 days ago.
I'm drawing a giant blank.
Me too. Oh well. It wasn't like he had a lot of people in line, so let's.
Sean Astin.
Yeah, I knew it started with an S.
You know how I found that? I typed in Encino Man.
Oddly enough, man, the whole autograph area was kind of light this year, minus for like what we were doing. Minus like the other space was a pretty big line. Even like for us on Saturday when we got to Sylvester McCoy, there was like nobody. It was pretty fucking quiet.
Were there more people for Sylvester McCoy than there was for Peter Davidson?
No, it's about equal. At least when we got there.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many. I mean, we were lucky, too, because we got out of the other space line, was walking past, we looked over, and was like, oh, Sylvester McCoy will be here in 5 minutes. Let's fucking...
Yeah, because on the like app, it said he wouldn't be back till like 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
He was going to be on break from like 1 to 3. And then we went over there, and it said he'll be back at 1 o'clock, so meaning he must have had a small line, took a little break for himself, and then changed up the schedule.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there was a lot of people missed. Was it the Dragon Ball Z guys?
Yeah,
seemed to be a big one. Like it's like they were all upset that they missed Dragon Ball Z guy, whoever they are, the voices.
Yeah. Well, I guess since then they've now announced a new show.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, Dragon Ball Super is going to be the new production that they're starting. Another full series of Dragon Ball.
I never.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never cared for it.
I watched Dragon Ball originally when it first came on. It was like on some PBS or something like that for a short time. I watched it a little bit. I was like, it's cool, but I didn't really get into it because I didn't catch it from the beginning. And then GT and Z happened, and I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
And then Battle of the Gods came out, and I mean, I want to like it, but I just don't know where to start. I don't know if I should go back to the beginning, if I could just catch up on one of the other ones. So
kind of like where would you start now, right? I mean, it would take to get caught up if you didn't do it. Yeah, it really was like. I mean, the convention wasn't too. I mean, for a Saturday, it was okay. It wasn't super packed.
Yeah.
Expected, and like the lines weren't. I mean, minus the one line we were in, none of them were all that long.
Right.
I was actually kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like they were organized a little bit better because I mean, like even when it opened up, they like had like the big thing to go around, and it wasn't part of the will call or buying tickets. That was completely different area.
Totally different area. Which I think they're probably figuring it out more and more as we go along.
Yeah.
I love the bag check. The bag check's great. Open it. Sure, nothing. Keep walking. Okay, I'm just loaded to bear with weapons. No one would ever have noticed.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, even that, it's like last year, fucking walked in there, no weapons.
Bought a ton and left.
The first booth I walked or bought something at, I bought a fucking pewter skull cane that weighed a good fucking 2.5, 3 pounds.
Well, yeah, I mean they had
serious fucking damage with that.
Yeah, they had stabs and everything there. I'm like, it's not like you couldn't beat someone to death with half the stuff in here. I mean, it just wouldn't.
Didn't you buy a knife?
Huh?
I bought a knife last year.
Yeah, I got a kukri. Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy was like, "You got to keep it wrapped."
Yeah, and I giggled. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was like,
yeah. Oh no,
right.
you know, keep it wrapped in the grocery bag with Scotch tape.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, keep it in that. Okay.
Because I mean, hitting somebody with it isn't gonna go right through that bag. Right? Okay. Fucking.
Yeah, after you guys left, Dennis, you guys took off. I went back in and I walked the entire convention. You know, looking at all the booths, see if there was anything worth buying. Mm. I bought 2 Futurama action figures at like one booth. Ooh. That was it. You know, those little like blind boxes where you just open them up and you get whatever you get.
Oh, that's yeah.
I got a Bender and an Amy.
Oh, you looked at those Gundams over again.
Yes, I did look at the Gundams a little bit more, and I almost bought one, but I was like, I can't justify $40 for something I'm not going to build right away.
Yeah,
I almost bought you a Gundam kit. The only reason I didn't is because I was in Barnes & Noble and I don't get good service there. And I didn't know if you already had it.
If it was a Zaku, probably. If it wasn't, probably not.
If it was what?
A Zaku, I would have had it. If it wasn't a Zaku, I probably don't.
I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
It was a smaller kit. And it was on sale. It was in their bargain bin.
Oh, okay.
They had like 7 of them. And I was like, Craig really likes Gundams. I thought about buying one for myself too, but I don't watch Gundam, so I kind of felt silly.
It's not even that. You can put them together. It's like a little model kit, and it's nice because they are designed so they're not just like a model kit where you put it on a shelf and you never look at it again. Like if you got kids, like this one here, I mean it's fully hinged and all that good stuff, where you could give it to like your kid and he can play with it, and it's like a toy, but you build it yourself.
Even the model kits?
Yeah, that's what this is.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought they were like basically just hard plastic statues.
No. The model kits are fully functioning, like fully jointed. They have all kinds of articulation.
Yeah. Could do that with your shit in your room.
Huh?
They could do that with half the shit in your room. If you try to articulate it, it would just break.
Yeah.
Well, no, only the Kodabukiyas. I have a lot of like actual action figures. The Kodabukiyas, though, these are just hard plastic. And these, funny thing is, these are model kits.
Yeah.
But they're just big pieces that snap together.
Right.
Here's Chewie. Like his Chewie, like the arms come off, the head comes off, and the legs come off, and the base. So it's like 2 legs, a torso, 2 arms, and a head, and that's a model kit.
Yeah. See, now you got this one, which is bigger. This one was, I think, like $40-50 because it's considered master grade. It's got more joints and stuff like that. But like everything from like the feet move, the fingers move, the helmet moves, all that good stuff.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool.
The knees move, they're very posable, all that kind of stuff.
What's the build time on one of those?
Master grade is, if you've done a couple and you don't paint, probably about 5 hours. If you do paint, it's a little different. Like this one was not painted. This one was just done, and it's a little shinier. It's got the rub-on decals and all that good stuff. But then you can paint them and all kinds of stuff and a lot of different stuff. It all depends on the kit itself. So
see, I want to get into shit like that. Like I want to fucking do more. Like I bought the TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
At Barnes and Noble, and that was a kit. That was a model kit. It only took me fucking like 15 minutes to put it together.
Yeah.
But I like putting the little shit together, and I used to build model cars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to get back into that shit, but I guess it's probably just I'm too lazy.
Yeah. And well, when it comes to like Gundam, I mean, a lot of it is you get into the shows as you're doing it, you know, because it'll be something you're gonna want to find out why this one looks like this or the symbols or anything like that. Like that. When it comes to build times, though, that one we saw there, the one that was all lit up, that it was a perfect grade. That's like 100 hours build time. That is including all the wiring and shit.
I was gonna say it looked badass. I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty cool fucking like build. I was like, ooh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was the Gundam Unicorn, which is one of the newer series. Newer as in like 2012 when it came out. But yeah, it's expensive for those because that was $160 for just the kit itself. I guess it was $260 for the kit and then $160 for the light set. There was a specialty light set that was in that one.
I guess if you're gonna do it right. I guess. Right?
Well,
that's a lot of money to spend on a model, though.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, it's badass. I mean, I could see. I mean, if you're gonna do 100 hours on it, I mean, yeah, I could. If that's what you're gonna do, it's 100 hours. You're not gonna be able to sit for 100 hours and do it. That's a couple months of worth of work.
Yeah.
$420 though. Like that better be fucking life size and wearable.
Oh, it's about. Like,
well, life size would be about 45 foot tall.
Yeah, that'd be impossible. I'd say it was probably a good 12 inches at least, 14
Yeah,
inches.
it's about a foot and a half. It's 1/60th scale.
Like, I better be able to fucking get inside of that motherfucker and wear it as a costume for $420. That's a lot of scratch.
That's that unicorn kit right there.
Yeah.
And everything that's red on there, Travis, that all lights up when it's because that's the same kit all the way across there. That one, the lights will light up in the eyes. Lights up around here, but this whole thing lights up. That whole I think it's called the Psycho frame is what lights up.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. It was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we saw there at the Bandai booth.
Yeah, I mean, and they look sick, but $420, that's...
And here's the thing, that's unpainted. All that they've done for that is put it together, put the slide stickers on, and it wasn't painted. Like a lot of the kits you see that are real nice have been painted, you know. But this one's got like the full skeleton underneath it before it's even got the outer frame put on it.
So that's what it looks like without the fucking white.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very, very articulate for what they do. There it is with the red Psycho frame underneath it.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, literally, it's definitely a time-consuming breakdown. So I mean, actually, you just passed it. One up above that, right there with the 3. You passed it. Down one. Right there. Yeah, I want to see that one.
Right there.
Oh, that looks fucking awesome.
Well, that is. God, what 3 are those? Well, that's the Ally Strike. I think that's GPO2, and I think that's Alex.
Yeah, they do some really good jobs with that shit, man. It's just amazing.
And I like... That's part of my problem, too, with Gundams. Maybe especially. I like the artwork.
Yeah.
But anime was never... I was never real big on anime.
Mm.
And the Gundam anime is the over the top, like lots of flash, lots of like this. I feel like Gundam would give me a headache.
Not necessarily. Depending on the one you look at, because like if the stuff you've seen is like Gundam Wing or Gundam Seed, those are retellings of other series and they're not that great. Like if you go back to the original Gundam series, Mobile Suit Gundam, which came out in 1979, the animation is on the level of like Speed Racer. It's nothing to really, worry about with the flash and all that stuff. But what it is it's a really good story that's being told. And then there were continuations of that series all the way up until last year, or this year actually, with Reconquista. But again, it's fucking 35 years worth of Gundam to catch up on too. So, and then there's certain series to watch, and there's certain ones that are just like Gundam Seed was nothing but a retelling of the original Gundam story, but like more modernized, more aimed at younger kids and stuff like that. Gundam Destiny was a retelling of Zeta and Double Zeta. Then there was Victory, which hasn't been retold yet, surprisingly. There's Double Zero, which was a modernized version of Wing. Wing was set in a different universe. I mean, there's just a lot of different Gundam out there compared to, one series that really covers what you're looking at, Like, you could watch, let's say, just like Gundam Double Zero, and you wouldn't have to watch anything else to know what's going on in the series, which is nice. But then there's some stuff like Igloo, which is very dependent on you knowing exactly what happened during the 1 Year War, so it's really, there's a lot out there. There's a lot out there.
See, and I don't have the time to dedicate to that kind of catch up.
To that nonsense.
But the thing is, you could also watch one series and then just be locked in with that one. Like if you were to watch the original Gundam, it's like 39 episodes, I want to say, for the original run. Might have been 43. But anyway, I don't need to look that up. It's it's only like so many episodes, and then if you don't watch anything else, it's not going to hurt you in any way. I mean, you miss out on some of the story, but they make it so that the series take place just a little bit farther apart from each other. So it's not like you have to see this one. And then if it depends on something for some of the later series, for like the main storyline, it like kind of gives you that information. It feeds it to you, but not like hammers it into your face saying, "Oh, you need to see all this." It's just like, yeah, okay, this happened, so that's why this is happening.
Now, how closely related to like Robotech is that? Is Robotech like the American version?
No, Robotech is a combination of Macross and like two other series that I can't remember offhand. And then they were just kind of combined and re-edited kind of the way Speed Racer was done. Because the original American Speed Racer, they completely rewrote the story using the original animation. That's how Macross worked with, I think it was, God, what were the series that Macross, or, what did you call it? Robotech. It was like Platibor, I want to say was what they used some of the stuff for. Because it had a very similar style. Same thing with Macross and another one. Robotech I watched as a kid and I have not been back to. Same thing with Voltron, though. Voltron was just a bastardization of Go Lion, where they cut out shit that didn't work or was a little too much for little kids, and they made a kid show out of it. Same thing with the way Robotech was.
I fucking loved Voltron when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Robotech as a kid. That was like one of my favorite things to watch.
That it was an American bastardization of it.
Yeah. Well, the same thing with Speed Racer. The original Speed Racer has a completely different storyline. I mean, it's not a huge difference. It's some dude who drives a car and races. Right. But I mean, they would re-edit the stories so that the dialogue would match up with their mouths. And that's what they were trying to do. That was before people were like, that's before it turned into a whole movement of people wanting to see it in Japanese with subtitles compared to people that want the dubbed version.
Yeah. I prefer with cartoons. I prefer the dubbed version.
Yeah.
With films, it's different. I like Gantz, which is an anime.
Mm.
started out as a manga, then it went to an animated series, and then it was made into live action that I bought at C2E2 actually. Or no, I bought one at C2E2. I bought the other two here in New Jersey a couple years ago at a Japanese restaurant, and it was labeled subtitled in English. It was under the subtitled in English section.
Yeah.
But it's subtitled in Korean.
Oh, good. Well, that's like,
yeah.
I got the first like 15 seasons of Shin-Chan on DVD, which is incredibly hard to find as it is. But I find them. Turns out it's the Hindi dub with Chinese subtitles. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
So you can't enjoy it really in any way
No. Other than it's Shin-Chan, and I kind of know what's going on because I've read a lot of the manga.
and the ironic factor of you're listening to it in Hindi.
Yeah.
With Chinese subtitles.
Yeah.
And it's Shin-Chan. So, but yeah, when watching the animated version of Gantz, I prefer it in English because there's just too much shit going on the screen.
Okay.
But the live action, I prefer watching in, I believe it's Japanese. I could be wrong. I'm by no means an expert on Asiatic languages.
Right.
That's right. Asiatic languages? Is that right, or is that completely wrong? And
I would have just said Asian.
I really don't know what else. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm not good at the Asian, but
Not good at Asian languages.
Not good at the Asian.
You could have said Oriental and just gone crazy with it. I'm not good at speaking Oriental.
I prefer it in whatever native language with the English subtitles.
Yeah.
Because there's just enough action, but the language kind of, them speaking as is, helps set the tone of what's happening on the screen.
Right.
Whereas dubbed versions don't catch the tone nearly as well. Hardly in my experience.
Yeah. Dennis, how do you prefer your animation?
Kind of depends on the series.
Yeah.
If I'm really into the series, I'd rather watch it subtitled so I can follow the storyline a little closer to like the original set. But if it's just something I'm watching in passing, I'll watch it in dub. A lot of my stuff I'd rather watch in subtitled anyways, because it just, even now that they try not to change the language so much, but there's still nuances in the words that are said that change things.
Yeah.
So I try to watch I'm still watching Fairy Tale, and just the way I've seen it dubbed and I've seen it subtitled. I do not like the dub because the voices sometimes, even though they're trying to use voices, the character voice actors they get all too high pitched for a female character instead of just letting the language flow through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I get that too. It's like, oh my god, why does she gotta have such an annoying voice? Because even though the character is kind of a little quirky and weird, in the Japanese, it's a little, the voice is better and the language is a little bit better. So, or Chinese or whatever what I'm watching. Especially my kung fu movies, I all watch subtitles. Always. Always. I do not like watching them dubbed.
Movies, they have to be in Japanese or Chinese. It has to be. Unless
they're Shaw Brothers from the 70s, then they have to be subtitled. Or, no, I'm sorry, dubbed.
Yeah.
Because then it's just amusing to me, because it's already a dubbed whack sound when they're fighting, and, it's just really bad all the way through. So, yes, I want it bad dub. But now it's for, The Raid or, Ong Bak or something, I'd rather have subtitles.
And not only dubbed bad, whereas, bad voice actors, but dubbed bad as in somebody didn't check the timing stamps, and so it's off by a split second.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you can tell when they screw up because they'll add in the
because I ain't sad and I don't give a fuck.
All right.
Well, that brings us to the end of one more clusterfuck of a show.
Yep.
We were kind of all over the map on this one.
That's as opposed to win. I
We
mean,
have a guest for a
We've
little
been,
bit more
like,
focused.
Yeah, we've been staying more on how we ended the show, like that kind of note where we talk about nerdy shit all the time.
Yeah.
Started out with politics and briefly got angry and then very quickly moved away from that topic, which was probably a good thing.
it's probably a good idea.
All right. Well, bye, Hank.
Later, Hank.